All right, so we'll try this again. I got a phone call in the middle of the last one. So we have a traditional German keg. It's going to be a gravity keg. Right now I just have water in it and I'm putting some CO2 in it to emulate carbonated beer. So that's pressured up to about 12 psi. So we'll just take this off. I'll show you some parts we have of the whole tapping in the gravity keg system. We have a plastic tap, which is more of your traditional actual pound-in tap. We have this keg venter. This sits on top, and you screw it in, and it vents your pressure to allow you to drain and pour. This is a new tap. This tap doesn't require actually any pounding in. So that's kind of, it pours really nice. It's a beautiful faucet, but you don't get to use the hammer, and half of the fun of tapping a gravity keg is using the hammer. But I'll show you how to use this as well. So we'll start off by the pound in. So I like to set it in just like that, so it's kind of on its own. You want to make sure this valve is, or this handle is sideways. Straight is going to vent the keg, or pour the minute it gets tapped. You want to try and do this with one hit. You'll see people who explode kegs when they're just kind of like tapping on it. You want to give it a good whack and seat it. If it's a bigger keg, you don't have to hold it. If it's a smaller keg, I like to hold it and give it a whack. So like that. So one fell swoop, one hit. What you'll usually do is you'll have a bunch of glasses lined up here because it's going to foam a little bit at first, and you basically need to bleed off this excess pressure. So what I like to do is just turn the tap a little bit. You know, normally you'd have your beer glasses under here, and you're going to basically pour this till it gets to zero, to nothing coming out. Then we'll put in our keg venter, and we'll go like that. So you'll see that the excess pressure, you know, you'd have all your glasses lined up here. And you'll feel the flow. It'll start to slow down until basically you have little to no flow, and that's when all the pressure gets out of it. And once all the pressure leaves, that's when you'll actually pull in the keg venter, or turn in the keg venter, and it's kind of stepped like this on an incline, so you can dial in the pressure to what kind of pour you want. So now that you basically have a closed system, basically you pull the vacuum on the keg, and there's no way for the liquid to pour. Now you put in your keg venter. You should probably hear a little whoosh. It was hard to hear, but the keg venter's in and it's turned just a little bit, and your flow will start again. And now you can just leave that as it sits and pour your glasses. And so that's one way to do it. So we'll pull this out. We'll pull this out. A lot of times this little rubber O-ring gets caught, so I like to take a little Allen wrench, reach in there and pop it out. So that's that way. So let's pressurize this keg back up. All right, so we're pressuring back up to about 12 psi. So there's head pressure in here now, just like it would be if you were to tap the keg. And we'll use the new tap. Like I said, there's no pounding in this tap. It goes in super easy. Basically, you just set it in like this, then you start screwing it in. And once you get tight like this, again, make sure the valve is sideways, and then you push this in, and that's how you tap the keg. And you'll do the same thing here, where you'll bleed off the pressure. You'll have your glasses lined up, and then once you bleed off this pressure and pull a vacuum, of course, obviously I'm going fast here. Once you pull that vacuum and it stops pouring, you'll do the same thing and put in your vent here. And once you put in your vent, then you'll break that seal and you'll be able to start pouring again. So that is how you tap a traditional German gravity drain keg. It's super easy. I saw a lot of people online completely bastardize it, so I just want to show everybody how easy and cool it is. Have a good one.